the perception of us. I can't stand that. I can't stand perception of reality. Because no one comes to see the realness of what our kids do. They want to see what the perception and say what this is. And I always tell y'all, 97% of our kids are amazing. Don't judge the 97 on a 3. Take your phones out and show them the work that your peers are doing. The peers that some of you I've been with since 4th grade. And the thing is, you gotta stop letting them tell your story. Write your own story. And you write your own story. I chose these individuals right here. I chose Miss Lindsay, Miss Ross, Mr. Jackson, Jones, Mr. Thomas. I chose them because of their skill sets that they can add past the classroom. Some of you want to stay in elementary. This is high school. You have to show your skills now. And some of you are thinking about, oh, you didn't raise your hand when they said, are you coming to Suno? Every time somebody asks you where you going to college, you're from 35. You say, I'm going wherever they tell me to go. And they pay for it. All right? So a lot of graduates that come out of Suno, a lot of graduates that lead not just in the city of New Orleans, across the nation. And these 2 young men right here that are saying right there, his dad coached me in football. So the thing is, they are pushed. These are 35 graduates that really care. All those people that go around and say about the negative things about y'all, they are perception built. Reality built is what Ted is putting forward. So this school, I will tell you right now, if they send you money and offer you to come, take it. Because all of you have the ACT scores to go forward. So thank you so very much for your behavior, the ones that were chosen. And at the end of the day, where's Ariana at? Come here. This is a person that fusses with me all the time about highlighting. See, I don't understand that some kids actually come and talk to me. And she fussed for years about highlighting the kids that are talented in arts. She didn't think about cell phones. She didn't think about. She fussed about highlighting you guys, and you won. So say something.
I want to thank all of you for coming out and just viewing all of our talented students here at 3-5. A lot of you guys are very talented, and some of you may feel like you live in the shadows, but as an artist, I just want you to know that I see you, and I hope you keep your art with you as long as you can, because it is really something to cherish. It is a really beautiful talent, and art really says a lot. It speaks, so thank you guys so much.
Oh gosh, I'm so proud of all of you guys. I'm just elated. I'm glad that everybody put a lot of effort and work into this and hustled and collaborated. I mean, it was just amazing and to see how you guys rose to the challenge too, where, some kids were like, I don't really know how to paint, but I want to try it. I want to write a poem. And it's just encouraging you to take a look at the theme of the show, which is fresh eyes, the way I see myself, and to look through a new lens. So it's not, an older generation that's telling your story. It's authentic and it's yours, and it's your perception and everything. So I'm just elated, and I could not be prouder, and I'm ecstatic. So just thank you guys. Welcome,
Just want to say thank you for everybody who came out, students who were invited. Take this opportunity to engulf in all of the arts and various visuals that you see. Again, it's not very a lot of times that I've seen in school where they have art that display of things that we've done and peers, you know what I'm saying? So you make sure that you photograph and video and celebrate them when you see, you realize that is your classmates. I've never been into a museum with my peers on the wall, statues or things they create. So, definitely take this day very seriously. This is a moment of history. As 35 always is in history. Always the first, never the last. Always the first. All right? Always. All right? How about that? Emily.
Go ahead.
First of all, boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom.
35, 35.
always thought that because y'all are the most important people in the room. Y'all. I'm a graduate of McDowell 35, 1986. Mr. Sean Lane graduated in 86. Mr. Eddie Tillman graduated 2018. And our honorary graduate, Dr. Howard Conyers, who I'd like to address y'all in just a second. This is a first. We are unofficially called the pioneers of McDowell 35. Over 100 years ago, our school came to fruition, okay? The first school in New Orleans, a secondary education for black children, all right? And y'all are here because you're supposed to be here, okay? We want to thank Mr. Ellis, Mr. Eads, Suno for providing y'all with a space to show your talent in high school, which is almost unheard of. So I'm just glad y'all here because it's about you, and thank you. Mr. Lane,
Thank you, Mr. Cornell and Cornell Williams. I'm just honored to be here because I was not supposed to be in town. I snuck in to take care of some business, and Mr. Williams told me that this was going on today, so I wanted to make sure I showed support for my big brother, Mr. Ted Ellis. You have no idea, and Mr. Lee Green. My father was the head football coach at Francis T. Nickel and taught them. I've been looking up to this young man all my life, literally, and to have them to be over this is a powerful thing. But I want to also say that you have no idea how important this is, not only for the New Orleans community, not only for Louisiana, but nationally. Because there are students that look like you, that's your age, in the state of Florida, that cannot do this. They cannot learn about their own culture. Because when you embrace your culture, you embrace your strength. Your cultural quotient will carry you throughout your life. It builds upon your self-esteem. And many people realize a young person, a young African American with high self-esteem is unstoppable. So thank you for being a part of this monumental moment. Listen,
what you've been doing?
Look, for 24 years, I've been blessed to bring 65,000 students that look like you across this nation on college visits. My job, my business is called College Campus Tours, and we bring students all over from UCLA, USC, Georgetown, Morehouse, Spelman, Clark, Atlanta, Jackson State. Today I'm speaking at Handle because we're taking students that belong to Handle on a college tour, our second one this year. And part of our program is teaching college readiness, leadership, and life skills based upon having a high CQ. So this ties in directly with this museum right now because the greater your CQ, the greater your success. So thank you again for being a part of this program.
I also want to introduce a gentleman, PhD from Duke in engineering. He's our rocket scientist from NASA, Dr. Howard Conyers. If he could say a few words for us, Doc, please.
All right, so this is y'all 35 alum. When I first moved to New Orleans, I had two people who brought me into the city. One sold me my house, named Patrice Sereno, and this guy here, my plumber, master plumber, Cornell Williams. But the reason I came out here today because I don't come out a whole lot. I'll stand behind here and cook barbecue or whatever. But going to North Carolina A&T or HBCU, coming from the rural South, where you see like these fields and stuff, my family is a product of those environments. Like they literally pick cotton in the back of my hand. But for me to be an engineer, all things are possible. So when they talk about like the history, I didn't learn history in the classroom, Mr. Wayne. Sorry about that. Where I really learned history at, and South Carolina was the first place to secede from the Union. Where I grew up at, in Clarendon County, I'm gonna tie it back to New Orleans real quick. Plessy versus Ferguson was in New Orleans, right? Where it was overturned at, it was called Brown versus Board of Education. But that court case really started in Clarendon County, South Carolina, where I'm from. in the 2 court cases, Levi Pearson versus Clarendon County and Briggs versus Elliott. If you look up those 5 court cases, they started in Clarendon County because they needed to know how they overturned that decision of Plessy versus Ferguson was a baby doll experiment held in Summerton, South Carolina, where they wanted to see what color baby dolls that a black kid would want to play with. And they did 2 baby dolls, the Hal Clark experiment. But I really just came out here because Cornell asked me to. I believe in the future. I don't really come to Sonoma, but I believe in artwork because as an engineer, you need to have both sides of your brains to be able to design the technology. When I look at like HDR on y'all cell phones, I could lead that kind of technology development, but it really starts in the classroom. And I'm a public student, a public school student myself, but I didn't have the opportunities like y'all got right now to be in a museum. I did the best I could do, my parents could do at the time, but seeing stuff like this is beautiful. I mean, it's almost heartbreaking. But when I hear the stuff on the news, I can't, it just helped me weak. But like seeing you all here today, helped me feel motivated and encouraged to keep speaking for you all. Because like what I do nationally on TV, people rather for me to cook barbecue than test rocket engines. And I'm a leader like that. Wow. This is all the love right here though. Thank you, proud of
Garrett Cook, come up here right quick. We got one more. Hold on. This ties in both of you.
Good morning.
I want you to speak. This is easy for you. But this brother here, this is his exhibition, Freedom or Death, the slave revolt of 1811. He's going to tell you why. He's a Renaissance man. He's brilliant. He has his Museum of Fine Arts from SCAD. He finished up his museum studies program here last year. He's taught in South Africa. His mother was a civil rights activist and advocate. This is a courageous brother. He has 2 children and a wife. He's doing the good work. This is his exhibition. He's going to tell you about the importance of it. Why this is critically important, your history, your heritage. The largest slave revolt in the United States happened in 1811. I'm going to move away from here and give you the floor.
Good morning. Good morning. All right, so I just snuck away from my class. I teach at East St. John High School to come see you guys. All right, so again, I'm excited about your exhibition. I saw some of your work. It's a beautiful exhibition. And again, to be here is important. I wanted to come in. This exhibition is about the 1811 slave revolt. Again, the largest slave revolt in U.S. history. Again, happened right down the road in LaPlace, right? Those slaves were actually on their way to New Orleans at the time. Louisiana was not a state until 1812. They were on their way to New Orleans to set up a free society for blacks. Had they succeeded, New Orleans would have been a free territory for blacks where slavery would not exist. However, that did not happen. However, again, it is important to know our heritage. It is important to know our past, because our past is a roadmap to our future. If you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're going. What happened in 1865, they talked about, in 1811, they talked about freedom or death. Today, we're talking about Black Lives Matter. In the 1960s, they said, I'm a man. It's all about validation. It's all about saying, I am a person, please respect me, acknowledge me for who I am. So what you're gonna see here in my exhibition is, again, I'm a person. These people that are on the wall are representative of the almost 500 slaves that revolted in 1811. But again, as a representation, how I see myself through my eyes, how do you see yourself through those people that passed on before us, that paved the way for us to be here? For you, Ron Eagles, right? So again, and you guys have a beautiful history as well. Yes? But we know it. We have to know our history, right? So again, I welcome you all, and I thank you guys for inviting us into your space, because again, the work that you are doing is important. I say that the work that I do is a byproduct of what I do. I am on the streets protesting. I will get arrested. I don't care what it is to get the word out that my life matter, that your life matter, that our rights matter. And I just talked about the dream. We just celebrated King Day. Learn the dream. Know the dream. Why? Because your rights are in the dream. So again, keep on working, keep on striving, allow your art to speak for you. Thank you so much.
I know you get an attention span.
In closing, I got one more. Come up here. Come here, Dr. Robert.
This is. This is the man that, this is the guy, just for y'all, when you go there, you don't remember people who taught you. When I first started going into the profession, and I started looking at the diaspora and started understanding the diaspora of African American studies. Then I started teaching at Rhodes, and he pulled me down from Rhodes College, and he pulled me back to come back to the city of New Orleans to teach African American studies in the city of New Orleans. This is the person that brought me into education when I was deciding to go into a whole nother direction. And I appreciate everything he did for me.
Thank you, brother.
All right?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. As the brother was identifying, 35 is a very special place. You should cherish it. It was at one time the only school in the city of New Orleans that educated African American youth. And so, on the public school level, supported by the state and by the city. So you are in a very cherished place, a very safe place. It is incumbent upon you, not Mr. Green, not the teachers, not the coaches, not the custodians, to keep it that way. It's incumbent upon you. I'd first like to acknowledge all of those persons who made this safe space a reality. All of the people who made this safe space a reality. You should give Mr. Ted Ellis a hand. You should give Dr. Hytham E. a hand. You should give Dr. Sarah Hollis a hand, whose son actually attended McDonough 35. You should give all of those persons, Sister Viola Johnson, a hand. You should give all of those persons who made this space possible a hand. I'd like to also acknowledge Mr. Green, as he stated, for many years now, longer than you've been alive, we have worked together. When he was a championship coach, we worked together. When he was helping my son get to Southern University on a football grant and aid, we worked closely together. And so, people like Mr. Green, people who are spending their lives and their time making your life possible, they should be treated with respect and dignity. As was stated, my name is Dr. Clyde Robertson. I'm the director for the Center for African and African American Studies here at SUNO. For 11 years, I was the director for the Department of African and Multicultural Studies for the school system. For most of my life, if not, I'd say the vast majority of my 64 years on earth, and that sounds funny to me because in my mind, I'm your age. But for most of my 64 years on earth, I have been looking into my story. Today, they're burying a young brother in Memphis, Tennessee. A brother who's older than you, but nonetheless, a very young man whose life was snuffed out. I heard the warrior say only minutes ago, Black Lives Matter. Let me tell you something. Black Lives Matter, whether they're snuffed out by white policemen or vigilantes or young brothers on the street who are not driven by the positive, but rather by the negative. Whether we are killed by young black men or women, or whether we are killed by white policemen, or in this case, black policemen, our lives should matter. And they should matter first and foremost to us Because if they don't matter to us, they will not matter to anyone. And so if your life sister doesn't matter to you, why should it matter to him? Why should it matter to her? Why should it matter to me? You first must love and provide dignity for yourself, because that comes out of you into the universe. So what I want to say is, I had the opportunity to meet this brilliant young sister yesterday and view her dynamic work. I respect what is being done at 35 with regards to cultivating your skills and your talents. I applaud you, all of you who are being displayed in there. I encourage all of you to continue to produce academically, produce athletically, produce artistically, culturally, be the whole human being, not a half human being. We must recognize all of ourselves in order to recognize any part of ourselves. And so continue to produce young brothers and sisters, sisters and brothers, continue to thrive, but most importantly, continue to live. Again, welcome to SUNO and welcome to Sonoma.